Hello Dolls and Dorks, this is Kida and Kida and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new Dolly introduction video. It's been quite some time since I did my last Dolly introduction video, so I thought it was about time that we made a new one, introducing, of course, a totally different doll, a totally new doll that I haven't made an introduction video of quite yet. So yeah, that was all the information in quite a fast pace. So for this new installment of Dolly introductions, I chose Kida. As you can clearly see. No, I just picked Kida. I'm just going to pick another doll and do that. No, okay. Sorry, I'm fumbling. Yeah, so we're going to do this introduction video with Kida today. And for all of your information, Kida is the Little Rebel 7 on an Abio Angel boy body. I have had Kida for over a year, I believe. So it is about damn time that we do an introduction video for him. So, just before I get started into who Kida is, where he came from, what he does for a living, does he have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or any of that jazz, I'm going to show you a close-up of him. So, be ready. Here he comes. Ta-da! So, this is my lovely Kida. And he is, I believe, from the second 7 release. That makes him a little older than my other Little Rebel dolls. So he is a little bit more yellow than the other ones, but not because he's yellow, just because the resin was yellow when he was released. But he actually matches pretty well on this Abio Angel body, and proportion-wise is absolutely amazing. He looks good. And he actually only recently got the glasses. I was actually just playing around with my dolls, putting things on their head, making them look ridiculous, because that's what I do sometimes. But this was not planned. Yeah, this was, I put glasses on him and thinking like, oh my god, he's going to look ridiculous with these big glasses. But he is actually rocking them. So he's going to keep them. So yeah, he's just like little Mr. Four Eyes. I mean, we match now. So yeah, this is my handsome man Kida. I think he's absolutely adorable and cute. I love him, but I love all my little rebels. I love all my dolls, of course I do. So yeah, let's just get started in the story of who Kida is, where he came from, and everything that involves Kida. Kida is actually the oldest of 2 siblings. His sibling is actually also part of my crew, which is Zenji. They are brothers, siblings. He is the older yet smaller one. Zenji is a little bit taller. Zenji is my Little Rebel 1010. And they were actually born in Japan into a mixed family. His mother was English, his father was Japanese. And they were born in Japan and they have lived there for the beginning of their years. They actually had a pretty loving family, nothing wrong with that, loving parents. They couldn't wish for anything more. That was until their parents got caught in a crossfire and were killed by gunshot, which was actually not meant for them, but they were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That kind of thing. So they both died when Kida was about 5 or 6 years old, around about that time. Zenji was a little younger than that. And they just came to live in an orphanage because nobody in their family wanted to actually take them in, which was quite sad. Of course, they had a pretty rough time in that orphanage. All kids do when they don't have a steady family that really loves them and takes care of them. It was a rough time for the both of them, but at least they still had one another that kept them going through the upcoming years, because it would take a few years for him and his brother to get adopted. And just a few years, I think it was about 3 years after they lost their parents, they were adopted into a family that was from England, which was also a plus for them because they kind of already were half English, so they knew the language, at least for as much as a child of that age could learn the language. And the parents that adopted them did have their roots in Japan as well. They weren't born there, but they do have their roots there. They were familiar with the language, so that helped them adjust to their new life. And luckily for the both of them, for both Kida and Zenji, they were adopted together, so they weren't pulled apart and like be on other ends of the world. So they were adopted into the same family, a family of a lovely woman and a very nice man that couldn't get children of their own, but really did want to have children. So they decided to adopt, and that's where Kida and Zenji came in. And the family that they came into, of course, it was a little bit of a in the beginning, like getting used to one another, not really going as smooth. But in the end, after a little bit of getting used to one another and getting used to a new country and stuff like that, things did work out. Their new parents were really loving people, and they did everything for them, and they gave them all the opportunities that they could ever wish for. And from a very young age, Kida had showed interest in photography, and now we're going into a little bit of the later years of Kida's life. Kida had shown interest in photography, and when he was in his mid-teens, he got his first camera from his parents, which he was totally in love with. He took pictures all the time, and that kind of evolved into him becoming the photographer that he is at this very point in life. He went to college and all that stuff just to learn more about photography and art and all that stuff that he found interesting, specifically in the photography range, because his whole life was made out of pictures. that was his one true passion. And when he came to the age that he was actually allowed to work, that he could get like a job, he filed for a job at the local skate shop, the skateboard shop, which is actually owned by the one and only Rowan. And he got a job there, and next to photography, I think the skateboard was one of Kida's biggest passions, being free and being a little bit careless and stuff like that. Yeah, so he got a job there, and he supported himself mostly through college by working there. He developed a really good friendship with the owner, with Rowan, and after he had finished college, he started to work at that shop full-time until he was able to set up his own brand, his own photography label and stuff like that. Before he really was able to support himself from his photography, he worked in that shop. And Rowan is a really trusting person, and after a few years, he actually said, well, listen up, I have a house or an apartment above the shop. I used to live there. I'm going to move out. Do you want that apartment to live in, so you can just go and live on your own? You don't have to live at home anymore, or in shitty apartments that have rent for like crazy. And that's how Kida actually came to live above the shop. And even though he became a good photographer with a good name, with lots of jobs he got offered, he still kept on working in that shop. So he would work like on his photography from Monday to Friday, and then on a Saturday he would still go down to the skate shop and work there. Just because he loved doing it so much, he was not able to just give up working there. And it's just something that I think that he will do until he can't do it no more. And when it comes to Kida and his love life, he's a little bit, well, let's just say unlucky. Or maybe a little bit too busy. Maybe that's the thing. But yeah, he's single. He doesn't have anybody. Of course, he has friends. He does have friends, and he has a very loving brother, which he's very close to, but he doesn't have a special someone. So he, only lonely. Maybe if he stopped working so much, maybe he would actually find the time to find somebody, who knows. And maybe in the future, I will find some lover, be it girl or boy, I'm not sure yet, that will click with him and that I can hook him up with. But for now, he is one of the few dolls in my life, that in my doll collection, that is single. And I think that's pretty much everything about Kida that there is to know about Kida. Maybe besides the fact that hold on. What? My boyfriend just came home and he yelled at me. And yes, I'm home. I'm upstairs. I'm making a video. Yeah, whatever. I'm sorry about that, guys, but yeah. What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yes. Kida is probably one of the few dolls in my collection that isn't like a supernatural. He is actually 100% authentic human. So that's another fun thing. Most of my dolls have something supernatural going on around them, but Kida is actually one of the few ones that is absolutely 100% human. But yeah, that is about all there is to know about this handsome little bloke right here that is called Kida. I hope you all enjoyed watching the video. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Kida and his backstory and his job and all that stuff. So guys, if you like this video, if you like what I'm doing, if you want to see more of my Dolly introductions videos, then please like, subscribe, comment, click on the notification bell. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a very lovely day today, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye.